Hello everyone, it's me, Haley Tamelia, and tonight we are on Instagram Live doing some slow flow yoga. Alright, some people are joining. Hello friends. So while we're waiting for a couple other people to join, I was just at a rural cabin in western Pennsylvania, and it was like middle of nowhere, and I got bitten by a spider a lot. Here, that spider, that spider, that spider. But those ones are pimples. Those are not the spider. Won't blame him for those. Oh, hi Audrey. Nice. Okay, let's get started, everybody. For those of you who saw the post, the session is inspired by Audrey. We've been through so much together, and it just really warms my heart that now we get to practice together. So some good things from some COVID-19. All right, so now, if you have 2 blocks, excellent. If you don't, take a look around, see if you've got a blanket nearby, and then you'll just roll it like a snake when you get it. And if you are living in a luxurious yoga lifestyle and you have a bolster, right on, use that. We're going to come into a supported fish to start today's practice. So for those of you who are using blocks, you'll take 1 block on its highest height, and then the second block on its medium height, and then you'll place you'll sit down in front of it, placing your shoulders on the first block, the one that's a little lower, and then your head will rest on the high block. Extend your arms, and know that this should feel really good. So if it's too much of an incline, feel free to adjust your blocks. Taking the top one level lower, the bottom one on the flattest, or however, you can take a moment to set up. And then snake people who are using blanket here will simply lie it vertically down the mat, trying to work around its, oh my gosh, this is a terrible snake. Typically you just roll one edge, but I'm trying to do it quickly here. So just lay it vertically if you're a snake person. Allow your spine to align, and then you can open your arms. And the blanket does have the benefit of being a little bit lower and a little softer, while the blocks are a little deeper, a little more heart forward. And whatever you have, even if you have nothing, just lie with your arms open and know your heart is open enough. And start to sense your legs, your toes, noticing where the tension is gathered. And where there's ease and relaxation opening up. And be aware if you've already had the sensation to move, if you've been wiggling or adjusting. Fine if you have. I just think it's interesting sometimes before we move or mindfully place our bodies to just notice where they've landed already. My legs here honestly feel like a slight angle. But noticing that, I can then more mindfully move my low back And I can extend my legs long and take a moment just to see if that feels, well, not even before it says if this feels good or bad, but just how does it feel? Let's not label it now. Let's just see what it is first. Scanning the body from the forehead, down the neck, across the span of your wings, to your open palms. Tension releasing. Awareness in the heart, and like a light running through the spine. You feel awareness in the torso. Awareness of the hips. The legs. Soles of the feet. Balls of the feet. Toe mounds. Awareness of the breath. Locating the stillest points in your body right now. Maybe they're the hands, or the heels, back to the breath to notice the movement in contrast to the stillness of those points. Almost like those points are the stakes in a tent, and the wind can blow and move the soft tissues of that tent, the blanket, the lungs. But the stakes are still grounded. And it's that contrast of a reference point rooted in stillness that we can appreciate movement. Relaxation in the neck, the back of the eyes, throat, inner ears, clarity and openness in the sinuses and the inner ears, the throat, the backs of the eyes, the third eye, openness between the little gap where your collarbones meet, the center of your chest. light of awareness, drawing a line from that point down the center between your breastbones and the ribs, tracing through your belly button and all the way to your genitals. A light of awareness. Ease and relaxation spreading throughout the whole body, radiating from the center to the outer limbs, hands, feet, fingers, toes. Stillness and ease washing over the whole body. Clarity of mind. What is your intention for today's practice? Perhaps it's just to be present, to notice when your mind leaves, and to bring it back, or just to notice. My intention is to share openly and authentically, and to send love. Your intention written in just a word or two that summarizes it. See it against a tall midnight sky, dark, tall trees, written in the stars of this deep purplish blue sky. See your intention written in stars. Breathe through the nose so that your sinuses can experience the air, filling up with that intention. Fill up as full as you can. And holding that air inside you, see what tension you can release. Sensation of fullness, and then letting it spill out. On your next inhale, begin to press your heels into the ground and draw them close your sit bones, as if you'd be coming into a bridge. And those of you on a blanket will just drop your knees to the side, roll to the side off, and just gently press yourself to a seat. Those of you on blocks can press your arms into the ground and safely press yourself up. And we're going to arrive in the seat, cross-legged. And we're just going to notice where we arrive before we do anything or change anything. Just see how the body lands in And where you land in your breath, it's interesting. Are you on an inhale? Are you on an exhale? Just see where you are presently. And then let something go. And let something else go. The eyelids soften. The belly softens. Shoulders soften. What is it like to be in this shape right now? If your body could talk, what might some of the parts say to you? How can you help those parts? Maybe it's a straightening of the spine to relieve pressure on the back, coming onto the sits bones, and almost pressing the sits bones into the earth. There's a gentle lift of the pelvic floor as the navel draws toward the spine. Let the belly be soft enough to breathe. Let the heart lift. The collarbones soften enough so they can join in the tops of the inhales, expanding fully as the ribs expand. Stay here for a moment with your tall spine and closed eyes and just notice how the ribs expand on the inhales out 360 degrees like a beach ball inflating, and how they contract in like a corset, knitting toward one another on the exhales. Take your hands to your ribs, pointing the fingers toward one another just to accentuate this motion for another breath or so. Breathing in, feel the hands, the fingers spread apart as the ribs expand. And exhaling, sensing how the fingers draw toward one another as the ribs contract. Just take 2 more breaths and make them a little more deliberate, a little more full, and a little more empty with intention. Turning on your Ujjayi breath. And then taking the hands to the center of your heart. Again, recalling that intention in the stars. Take your fingers to the center of your forehead and bow to that intention. Crawling your fingers out long for an extended reach of the fingertips. Just let the forehead soften. Chin tucked toward your chest. Shoulders relaxed. Breath into the back. Inflating the whole body like a beach ball. Crawl your fingers just an inch further. And then again, let your forehead heavy and soften. Shoulders relax. Face soften. Chin tucked slightly toward the chest, giving length and ease to the neck. And fill up your widest breath yet, 360 degrees around. And then open your mouth, maybe lion's breath, sticking out your tongue. On your inhale, lift the heart, paint the hands towards your body, let them meet at the center of your heart on their way up above head. And exhale, fold again. Paint the hands toward you on an inhale. Hands meet through the heart and above the head, lift. And on your exhale, fold. Waiting until you're totally empty. On the inhale, your hands paint back up. Through the heart, through the center of the forehead, you reach up. Inhaling and lengthening. And exhale, fold. Let all of the air leave you before you choose to paint the hands forward. Land the palms together, feed them through the heart and up. And exhale, fold. Painting the hands toward you again. And this time reach your hands out to the sides until you can feel a stretch as the shoulder blades draw together. Breathe in, lifting the heart. And exhale, tip the head to the left, maybe bend the left elbow. But notice if you're kinking your back. Sit a little heavier into the right sit bone. Come back to the Ujjayi breath. As though your right sit bone were the peg of a tent to anchor it down. And then begin to draw the chin down to center, letting the head fold toward the chest. And again, maybe lengthening the fingers out a little bit, lifting through the heart. Let this be easy on the neck, nothing forced or cramped. And breathe into the heart space, expanding it wide, letting it come out, finding a sense of softness for a moment. Drop the head to the right shoulder. Maybe you pause here for a second just to notice what the weight feels like, how the rest of the body compensates to support it. You find a way to let your belly feel soft and easy while your spine feels straight. Lifting and expanding. And then exhale as you crawl the fingers a little out, lifting the heart and squeezing the shoulder blades. Maybe you play with the angle of your nose tilting it a little bit to the sky. Opening the mouth a little for the jaw. And then just dropping the chin to the center. Again, for that round, give your shoulders a shrug toward the ears, and then squeeze them down the center of your back. Lift your heart, press your hands toward the ground. Breathe the hands to the sky. Grab opposite elbows, and then reach right elbow into the palm of your left hand. Look up at your right elbow, as though you could keep pressing that elbow into your hand. Softening the face, the back. One more breath. Look at that elbow. And then reach up. Switch the cross. And then lift your left elbow toward the palm of the right hand, pressing it up. Left sit bone roots down, plugging you, keeping your tent secure to the ground. As your gaze travels to your left elbow, feel the stretch happen in the arms, and then soften what isn't necessary to keep tension in the lower body. Breathe in, expand the hands. One more fold as you exhale. Paint yourself up, and we'll meet in a tabletop position. And it might feel good to pop into a downward facing dog, but do it really slowly since our knees have just been bent. And if it doesn't yet feel good, you can also just stay in the tabletop, so it's an option, yogi's choice, to begin to warm up in a tabletop or in dog. But in either case, we're going to take some cat-cows. So if you're in dog, lift your heels, bend the knees just 30%, and then breathing in, lift your heart and that tail. Exhale, round for cat. Lifting armpits. And exhale, that chest comes forward and the tailbone reaches to the sky. Keep moving on your own breath. Those of you in tabletop, you know this. You'll drop your belly, lift your heart, tailbone. And exhale, you'll round for cat. Take what you need and then find stillness when it serves you. Eventually, we all meet in that downward facing dog. Take a breath in and lift the heels. And as you exhale, roll forward, feeling strong in the quads on the front of your thighs. Then lift the heart. As you exhale, start to bend your knees, send your hips back for turbo dog. And then on your next exhale, you'll lift the hips back for downward facing dog. Breathing in, lift toward your balls of your feet. And on the exhale, roll forward, really feeling the quads engage as the heart travels forward. Your shoulders may be a little forward of your wrists, if that's all right. Well, if you don't have wrist trouble, that should be fine. But if you do experience something, you can always modify it by coming onto your fists. Press back into downward facing dog. And then just drop to your knees. Sit on your heels, breathe in, lift your hands up. And exhale, fold, send your hips back. Just a child's pose. Extended variation, reaching your arms up. Take a breath in, fill up with air. Feel that sensation of expansion between your shoulder blades or between your armpits, as if your armpits are expanding further from one another. Press the hands firmly into the ground, then let it out, softening everything to the ground. How did the body just change there? And breathe in, come into a tabletop. Pop to downward facing dog. And just tiptoe to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Take a moment to experience this and let everything in the spine go. Just keep thinking soft spine, soft spine. It's just hanging down. Now you can have your legs bent a lot. Bend them as much as you need to. You can even, like I am, kind of resting my chest on the legs. We're looking to lengthen the spine here right now. You lengthen you get a little hamstring stretch too. But I want you to find ease in this fold. We're in it for a little bit longer than in Vinyasa. Maybe you feel the blood heavying the head. Just let go of any tension in the neck, maybe shaking your head no or nodding yes. And when it feels good to breathe in, lift your heart, flatten your back, trying to get your torso parallel to the ground for a Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift as it's often cued. And exhale, fold. Again, you can keep your knees bent through all of this. We're gonna move again, breathe in. Come into your Ardha Uttanasana, flattening your back. And exhale, fold. This time, bend your knees a lot. Make your hands come together and rise all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana with hands pressed. Breathe in. And on your exhale, just tense your hamstrings on the back of your thighs. Take another breath in, lengthening the heart toward the ceiling. And on the exhale, separate the hands and come into Tadasana. Notice the engagement of the legs, the strength of the legs, like a trunk of a tree. And let softness come to the upper body, the hands. Maybe you start to swing your arms. And then just stop swinging and watch them fall on their own accord. Waiting to see when they find stillness. How the engagement of those legs, connection of our feet like stakes into the ground, allows us to really see the fine motions of this movement. And you just start to open the palms forward as your shoulder blades come together. Just start to squeeze the shoulder blades. See how open you can get your chest just from that squeeze. And then breathe into the heart. As the fingers reach back, the heart reaches forward. And as you exhale, you can grab your palms at the base of your spine, lower it down as you reach up, breathing in, keeping the shoulder blades squeezing as though you're rounding the shoulder heads back. Palms sticking together, not yapping. Breathing in as you lift up with the heart. Expanding across the collarbones with that full inhale. And exhale, bend the knees, lower. Hands can float to the ceiling, reaching up as head gets heavy and neck soft. And remember, you can use your legs as a shelf and just drape your body over it, allowing the chin to tuck. On your next inhale, squeeze the palms more, lift them up more. Exhale, let them melt. Gently release that bind. Breathe in for your halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Stay for a moment and just sense your arms hanging heavy as your torso is parallel to the floor. Just feel the weight. Drawing navel to spine. From all the stillness of that engaged pelvic floor and your legs, notice the contrast of the movement with the arms. Bend the legs, hands together, reach up. Breathe in and exhale, the hands come to the sides. Right away, breathe in, look up, hands together overhead. As you exhale, tense your hamstrings and lift your heart for the back bend. Breathe in, come back to center. And exhale, bend your knees and fold. Plant the hands, step to a high plank. Drop the knees, keeping the hips high. Lower the chest all the way to the ground between the hands, then the chin. Ashtanga Pranam, 8-limb staff pose. Breathe in, pull the heart forward, pointing the toes, coming into baby cobra. Squeeze those shoulder blades together, pulling the heart forward as though you could pull your heart through the center of your collarbones. And exhaling, releasing to the ground. Let's take 2 more cobras. Breathing in, the elbows squeeze towards together. Heart pulls as though it could come through those collarbones. So breathing wide into them and exhale, come down. 1 more. Lift on the inhale. And exhale, lower. Press into an extended child's pose. And already the toes tuck. You press into a downward facing dog. Reach the right leg long behind you. Pressing the heel away like you could glue your heel to the wall behind you. Look at your toes, make sure they're pointing down. And then breathing in, you'll come into a high plank, but you'll keep that foot hovering. Breathing in, come to 3-leg dog. Breathing out, come forward, high plank, lifting that foot still. Set it down, drop the knees, keep the hips high, lower chest and chin, Ashtanga Pranam, 8-limb staff pose. Breathe in, baby cobra. Squeezing shoulder blades as heart expands. And exhale, lower. Child's pose. And already the toes tuck and the hips lift. Left leg reaches behind you. Pull that heel really far. It'll help if you rise to the ball of your standing leg. Then look under your body. Notice if your toes of the left leg are pointed out. If they are, point them down to the ground. That keeps the hips closed. And then again, on an inhale, find length, pulling that foot toward the wall behind you. And on an exhale, you'll come to a high plank, keeping that leg hovered. Breathe in, come to a three-legged dog. And exhale, come to that plank. Drop the knee, or drop the foot, bend both knees. Hips stay high, Ashtanga Pranam. Chest and knees, chest, chin. Breathe in, baby cobra. Breathe out, exhale to lower child's pose to downward facing dog. Take a breath in and reach the right leg behind you. Come onto the ball of the left toes. Reach the right heel behind you even more, making sure those toes are down. And as you exhale, think knee to chest and plant the right foot between the hands. You can scoot your way up there. We're rising to a kneeling lunge. Feeling the legs squeeze toward one another in that stability. Anchor the pelvis. Then breathing in, lift the arms. Exhale, relax the shoulders down the back. Softening the space. And then seeing what work we can release while keeping the integrity of the shape. Sometimes we release too much and we need to engage other things to regain support. But every movement of our adjustment teaches us something. Exhale, the hands lower. Begin to draw the hips back and straighten the front leg, half Hanuman. Toes point towards your face. Breathe in and pull the heart forward. Exhale, round the spine like cat. With those toes still pointing toward your face, breathe in, draw the heart forward. And exhale, rounding like cat. One more on your own. Bend into that front knee. Tuck the back toes, pop off the knee. Come into a twisted lunge, the right hand floating to the sky. Breathe in and let the wrist float a little taller. And as you exhale, just reach that hand forward and around, back and up. Make two more circles like that, reaching forward, really forward, around, back. Last big circle. Then you'll just point both toes to the left edge of your mat, walking the front leg back a foot or so. Breathing in, you'll press your hips toward the sky for Parsvanjaneyasana, really pressing through the feet, gaze up at the right hand. And exhale, lower the hips, hovering them just an inch above ground as you reach through the right fingers. Press into the feet to lift as you inhale. Hand arcs over ear, length. Exhale, lower those hips as you reach. We'll take one more. Breathing in to press and lift. And exhaling to lower. Dropping the hips all the way. So you come into a seat, and now you'll be turning yourself around here, but both legs are, we're coming into Gomukhasana, cow pose phase. So your right leg is crossed over your left, and you're on your pinky side edges of your feet. You can grab your ankles, breathe in, and just lift your heart. And exhale, lower the chin toward the chest. If you'd like to continue moving the head, the neck like that, you may, or you can just hover here for a moment with the chin resting. Noticing your heartbeat. The shape of the body. Pace of the mind. Look over the left shoulder. Plant your hands behind you, and you'll simply turn into a downward facing dog. Take a breath in as the left leg reaches up and back. Then on an exhale, draw a knee towards your chest, planting the foot, dropping the back knee, and rising for your kneeling lunge on the left leg. See how your body naturally lands in this shape, and just give it a second to settle. Then squeeze the legs, getting a bit more stability in the lower body. Squaring the hips. That strength in the lower body, you can find a little more lift in the heart, looking up, and exhale, melt those shoulder blades, softness in the face, fingers, arms, even the chest. Release what tension you don't need in this shape without losing its integrity. Softening what you can and just learning from the wiggles. Another breath in to reach the wrists up. And as you exhale, drape your chest forward, hips travel back as you extend your left leg, half Hanuman, half splits. Then you'll breathe in, pull your chest through like cow. And exhale, round like cat. Pull the toes toward your face even more, as though you're trying to drag your left hip back. And breathe in, lifting that heart, looking up, and exhale the round. Last time to breathe in, look forward, really reaching that heart forward, and exhale as you bend into the front knee. Pop the back toes, lift the back knee. Left hand lifts for a twisted lunge. Lift up in the right hip, it's probably dropped lower than your left. The left hand's floated to the sky. Take another breath in to lift the wrist toward the ceiling. And exhale, reach forward with the hand, making a big circle. All the way back and up, 3 times. So twice more on your own. Next time the hand finds the sky, turn all 10 toes to the left, and then walk your front foot back about a foot. lift the hips, Parshvanjanayasana, pressing through the feet and the hand. Allow the floating arm to reach above the head, feeling a length in the body on the sides. And as you exhale, lower the hips, hovering them as you reach the top arm toward the back of your mat. Press through the feet on the inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. One more time, lift. Feel the length as the arm reaches above head. And exhale, lower, landing your hips and sitting both sit bones on the ground as you wrap your legs in for Gomukhasana. And I apologize for not giving this option earlier. If this is way too much for you, you can just extend your bottom leg and you're fine here. But otherwise, you can sit into this intensity. Show you from the front here, friends. And find the body where it settles naturally in this shape before we rush to what we think is the perfect version of it. Let's just sit and see what it actually is. I think in life sometimes we encounter things and we react to change them immediately before we even really take in what it is. Find your softness in your exhales. And notice the connection of your sit bones in the ground. If one is higher than the other, then even them out. Finding a shape where you can really press the sit bones down. Some people might find it helpful to sit on a block or the edge of a blanket too for this pose. Something to keep in mind. We won't be here for too much longer though. Breathe in and lift the arms up. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and pull toward the left. Stretching the side body as the arm relaxes. Reach to the ceiling. Switch wrists. Just get the other side. Release your Gomukhasana. Extend your feet long in front of you. Take a breath in, lift up. Maybe hook your thumbs to get an additional little space, like additional 3 sips of air. And then as you exhale, you'll reach as far as you can and fold. Now, you don't have to reach as far as me. You don't have to reach as far as anyone but yourself. And if you want, you can even lift your knees a lot and drop your forehead on them. It can be a really nice pressure point. Grabbing your feet only if it serves you. Releasing any expectation of what the shape should be, how your body should immediately land in it, to first just understand where you go. Breathe in, lift the heart. Crawl the hands back toward the feet, or toward the hips, and just spread your legs wide for a V-stretch. Take a breath in, pointing the feet towards the sky. Try to keep those feet pointing towards the sky as you begin to fold any amount. Blocks can be helpful. Soak in your blanket, you can kind of hug it. I like to drop my forehead to it. But you can also stack many blocks together. We're keeping the toes pointed toward the sky. Just breathing into this here for another 5 breaths or so. If you ground through the heels like stakes of a tent, Maybe you notice the flow of breath, how it moves the softer tissues of the body like wind on the fabric. Begin to walk yourself up. Oops. Take your feet out again. And then we'll breathe in high. And as you exhale, hinge forward and reach as your feet flex. Rooting those heels into the ground, you'll start to round your spine. And lower as slowly as you can, vertebra by vertebra, to the ground. Palms releasing to the sky, body melting to the earth. Notice this sensation just for a second here. And then take the feet, step them closer to the sit bones, flip the palms to the earth, and then we'll lift to bridge on your next inhale. Rolling the shoulder blades under, squeezing them a little bit toward one another. Remembering to breathe in this shape. If you have a block, you can slide it under you, bolster, or even that rolled blanket can be nice to come down on. And just allow this to be supported, bridge for another few breaths. Notice the difference in the hips and what's asked of them. And remove your object. Allow the hips to land. Gently curl the knees toward the chest. Give them a big squeeze. Another breath in. Feel your whole torso expand 360 degrees around with air. And as you release that air, allow the limbs to spread out. And to settle into your Shavasana. Humility, I ask, may I be happy, may I be healthy, may I have a sense of love, joy, well-being, and ease. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you have a sense of love, joy, well-being, and ease. May we be happy. May we be healthy. May we have a sense of love, joy, well-being, and ease. Take your hands to your heart. Love and the energy inside you. And see that intention you set at the beginning of class. If it's served you, then see it disappear. If you'd like to carry it with you, allow it to penetrate your heart right here. You may release your body back to the ground to stay as long as